Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to I Am and More presents the Journey to More, a web series where we're going to be unpacking success, entrepreneurship, and so much more. My name is Jamila Moore. I am an attorney and I am the founder of I Am and More. You see, I love it. I Am and More is a full service consulting agency where I've packaged my love for people, I've packaged my love for small businesses, and I've packaged my love as an attorney into one service where I serve people and helping them optimize their life and maximize their potential while also helping them monetize their skills and start profitable businesses. I know, I know you've come here for the topic for today, but I had to give you that little spiel about me. And if you're already on here, please do me a favor, like, share, and tag the broadcast, like, share, and tag the broadcast. So, today, in our first episode of this web series, we are talking about the backside of success. And to help me talk about the backside of success, I have invited my big sister, good friend, confidant, prayer partner, Latoya Chanel. Let's welcome Latoya Chanel to the screen. Now, Latoya Chanel is not your ordinary entrepreneur. Latoya Chanel holds two bachelor's degrees, one in arts and psychology. She also holds a master's degree from the Hampton University. She is almost finished with her PhD. So we better put some respect on her name because she's soon to be Dr. Latoya. She founded her latest business, Latoya Chanel, where she's a strategist on life. If you need help finding your purpose, this is your person to go to. Not only is she a strategist, she's a post-secondary educator with over 10 years experience. I know. You're like, this woman is successful, but there's more. That's why we have I Am and More. There's more. She is an author. She is the author of the Lipstick series Reloaded, a guide for restoration, reflection, and refinement of your inner beauty. Y'all, let's welcome Latoya Chanel. Latoya, I am so happy to have you and for you to be my inaugural first guest of the Journey to More. You know, a lot of times we talk about success, our goals, and all the things we want to accomplish. But then what do we do with that? What's the backside of that? What's the flip side of that? So I just want to start off like, how do you define success?
So I would just start off by saying, hello everyone, and just thank you for joining. And so how I define success, I would say my younger self would be just like, I set a goal, I obtain it, and I can pay my own bills, I have my own place, like just basic, right? So I have my checklist and I checked everything off and I made it. So now I would say it's a little different. And so for me, it's really finding out who you are and really like diving into that to find your purpose. And so what really, like, you can't sleep, like it just really bites at you every day. And so I think for me, that is success, that you're fulfilling your purpose that you have here.
So you're telling me that your definition of success changed from when you were a child to now.
Absolutely. Yes.
What brought about that change on the definition of success?
So I would probably say life. And so, and so as you grow and get older and just, I've accomplished, like if you read my bio, I've accomplished, I went to college, graduated in 4 years, I have my master's and now I'm getting my PhD. So I have a career. And so the checklist is complete. And so I should be just, happy and just successful, but it was always something missing. And so when I went on my own spiritual journey to find myself, that's when I realized, wow, there's so much more. And so I'm also first generation. And so I was like, wow, I really need to give back. And I'm in different environments and like at church, different organizations. at like when I teach my students, I can just see myself, my younger self in them and like, wow, how like I'm really supposed to be pouring into them. That's why I'm here. I'm in these organizations. I'm at this job. I'm at this school for that reason. And it's all ages. And so in particular for me, it was women. And just really seeing the different things that could have happened as they were younger and how we carry that. We carry it for so long.
Okay, so let's pause here. And if you're joining us, this is Latoya Chanel. I am Jamila Moore. We are discussing the backside of success. Like, share, tag the broadcast as we are continuing this great discussion. So you said something earlier that I want to tap into. You had to rediscover what success was because the checklist didn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I personally had a checklist. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it out of LA. I don't like it here. So I'm gonna go get this degree. I'm gonna go become a lawyer. And it's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I became a lawyer and I said, I don't like it here.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't like it here. So
Mm-hmm.
what's up with the checklist not matching the emotions? I
Right.
see someone liking that, so they didn't like it there either when they had the checklist.
Yep. And it's so true. And I think I would say like society and just really saying that you have to do this, you have to do that. And so I think it's embedded in us that that is success. And so again, we have these things that we want to make people around us happy. And that's the normal thing to do. So everyone applies, not everyone, but a lot of people apply to college because that's just the next thing to do, you know? And so we don't really explore people and say, well, what would you like to do? Like, what are you interested in? And so a lot of students sometimes are not successful in college. It's not because they're not smart, but that's not where they're supposed to be. That's not their purpose. And so we don't really tap into that. And so like when I meet with students one-on-one, I always do like a career assessment and just have a conversation. Like if I can give you $1 million today to do whatever you want, what would that be? And they just light up. They light up and just say, da, 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 they just go down the list and just kind of talk about
Wait. You start your coaching sessions or
yes.
your strategy sessions with thinking through, if you had $1 million, what would you be doing today?
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's so huge because it gives you room to think and to grow, right? And so I not only do I think that's powerful, I think about what it means to the person sitting in the chair when they have to decide that they no longer want to go down this path.
Right.
Is there backlash that comes with that?
So it is backlash because we're attached to people, family, community. And sometimes that is what holds a lot of people back is just what would everyone else think? And so really allowing to to let go of that and to let go of like, you know what, this is my world. And for me to be happy and fulfill my space and my purpose, I need to do what I need to do. But I also think having a support system, and I think that's what I'm gifted. That's my gift, is really being that strategist for people's life and really speaking into people's life and to really showing them that, you can do it. And if it's just me being your cheerleader for now and everyone else can catch on later, I'm here. Let's do it. And so for me, that makes me happy. And I'm just like naturally, like, that's just what I do. And I didn't notice that's what I do. And so I kind of had to find myself and just also realize like, that's, I'm powerful in that. But again, I had to find myself, I had to go through my own spiritual journey just to have my own confidence too, because we all have doubts. We all don't feel that, we can do it because you don't have that person or someone speaking into you. And so for me, I'm like, that's me. And hence how even the book came about, I've always worked around people. And so everything just aligned with me.
Everything just aligned. But let's go back to that younger version of you.
Yes.
And the fear that you had. Talk to me about a moment where you wanted something at that time, that was your definition of success, and people tried to talk you out of it. Because that's one of the backsides of success. People want to talk you out of your next.
Exactly. And so I was starting with my first entrepreneurship. So I became an entrepreneur at the age of 17. And so I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I started cosmetology school at the age of 15. It was a 2-year program. And, people around me, family, like, why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that. And so thankfully, my mom, like, she's like, nope, I'm with you. If that's what you want to do, let's do it. And so I did it. And it was so funny because those same people, can you do my hair? And so
Now they want you.
yes, and they're in line. And so again, you only need one. And sometimes that was the biggest lesson for me for entrepreneurship. It's lonely sometimes. You will be alone. And so you have to know that I have to push forward because this is something I want to do. It's been on my heart for so long and I'm going to do it. It's an opportunity here. I'm not going to let it pass. And so me being licensed has helped me tremendously, not just financially, but just meeting people, networking, having opportunities to travel. And so, and even now with my book, now, 10 years later from that, it's like I was able to write a book that incorporated the beauty industry. And so it just all, again, aligned and worked out. And so even though I don't work in a salon, I still, have VIP clients, I would say, who won't let me go, but it's a good thing, right? But I use that to now my college degrees, my master's degree, my PhD. It's like it's all aligning and working out, and to just really understanding on a bigger level what my purpose is now.
Okay, so you gave us one of the keys or one thing to think about with the backside of success. It's like overcoming fear and dealing with the idea or the words that people will spew at you because you're going after your next.
Right.
But then you said something along the lines of it can be lonely. And I personally don't know if I would say lonely, because it's not that I'm alone at this space in my life, but there are limited amounts of people that understand me now. And so I liken it akin to like climbing a ladder. And so if you're building homes, we're building homes right next to each other. You're building a 2-story home, and I decide I'm building a 5-story home. So as I go up to story 4, you stopped at story 2. And so at some point, we lost the ability to communicate and to see things in the same way. And so it's not unless you decide to start building to story 5, or I get a neighbor that wants a 5-story house that can come up there and commune with me at that vantage point.
Yeah.
And so how have you worked through that?
So that's really good as I think about now friendships. And so your friendships, definitely you outgrow friendships sometimes. And sometimes you have to get out of your circle and to understand that certain friends are for certain things. And so like I always tell people, you need a mentor in everything. So spiritual mentor, career mentor, financial mentor, like you need a mentor for that particular area for that reason that you just mentioned. And a lot of times when we stay in the same circle, we become closed-minded, not closed-minded, but we just kind of, just stay, like you said, on the second level. And we are not able to move up because we're stuck again where someone else is. Or people talk their fear into us. So then we don't want to be maybe the outlier.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I know you were mid-sentence. People talk their fear into you? So that means I may start off thinking I could conquer the world.
Yeah.
And then go to someone in my circle and they speak their fear into me.
Yep. Absolutely.
How do you handle that? How do you handle that, Latoya?
And so younger me, it was hard to handle. So I would, shrink myself to not appear that I am, trying to do too much or that I'm not better than, because that's another thing you'll hear people say, oh, you think you're better. And I had to own it and say, no, you think I'm better. And you need to own that. Like, don't put that on me, And so I think that's why I really try to, in my coaching sessions, really try to gain, help my clients have motivation and confidence. And so those two things, like you have to know who you are. When you know who you are, whatever anybody says, okay, you can own because that's how you feel. I don't feel that way. I'm doing what's inside of me that I need to do. And so if you want to stay on level 2, that's okay. I'm not judging you. So don't judge me for going to level 5. So either you're going to like be my friend in my, in a personal space, and support, or we may have to go our separate ways. But I think that we really, really have to know who we are around is so impactful. And we know as young children, our parents will say, watch it, like the company you keep. And, and they're just saying that more so to stay out of trouble, things like that, but not realizing, no, like that is really a good saying. And we really need to really internalize that to say, even in business, even in your purpose, your career, like everything matters of who you are around. And you see certain partnerships from college friends that they're making different type of moves because of the circle they kept. They had a strong mindset and they grew together. And you have some, they go their separate ways. But I think really making sure that you know who you are, number one. Number two, really being okay with standing alone. Like you have to be okay with standing alone. Like that's the number one thing in the backside of success. You have to know what's in you, that you see this vision and no one else around you sees it. You're like, no. Like I see it, and you have to stand firm on it. And even you have to keep going until you meet someone who can say, you know what, I don't see it, but I can do this and this to help you see. I mean, help you, because I just believe in you. Or someone may say, you know what, I do see it. And you rock with them, somebody you may not have, you never met. And so just keep pushing because it's going to happen.
Listen. If you are just joining us, I am here with the incomparable Latoya Chanel, soon to be PhD, author, serial entrepreneur. If you're just joining the broadcast, please like, share, comment, tag someone because they need to hear this message, the backside of success, because it's really about you getting a vision early on that no one else can see. Mm-hmm. And then navigating season in, season out towards that vision. And, I see things in the comments like you got to keep pushing, know who you are. No shrinking is a big one. We might just have to hashtag that after that. And even thinking about sometimes how we live somebody else's fear.
Yes.
And that makes me think about this point. Who taught you what success was in your life?
Mm-hmm. So for me, I would say society taught me what success was. Mm-hmm. And just like, being around, I know I wanted to do better than what was around me. And so honestly, me going to school would just have honestly been enough. Right. And so I think that's why people around me are like, okay, you did that. So why are you going any further? And so again, I think that's where the problem is. You can do better, but now you're doing too much. Right. And so I think we have to, remember that. And so for me, I think success was I just wanted to be self-sufficient. That was like the biggest thing as a teenager. I just want to be self-sufficient. I want to be able to be on my own. I want to have, my own car, my own home, like, just the basics. And so that's really all I was striving for as a teenager. Like, I just want the basics.
Yeah. I want to tap into something powerful you said. You literally went from society's projection. Just like they can project fear, they projected what success was.
Yep.
Then you said, hold up, God got a hold of you, said, sit down, girl. I need to talk to you about who you are and what you're supposed to do. Yep. And that's, correct me if I'm wrong, that's what birthed your book, right?
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Talk to us about like that transition and writing a book for the first time. What were people thinking when you were writing this book? What were they saying? How are you feeling?
So when I wrote my book, I was actually in my first year of my PhD program. So that was all God. That was all God. It was not me at all. And so I literally just had a 2-year, just like a deep spiritual journey with God, and just really finding out the scriptures for myself, understanding him, knowing him, understanding his love, and understanding that we're each fearfully and wonderfully made, and that he created us in the womb. And I took that personal, because if he knew me before my mom knew me, my dad knew me, before they knew my name, he created me there. It's like, I'm supposed to be successful, in his right. And so anything that anybody else has to say doesn't even hold a place in my, in my life. And so Then I would be met with people after I found that out about myself. I'll be met with people who were like just going through different things and just, I'm like, okay. And I'm like, God, okay, you keep sending these people to me. Like, I don't understand. It's like overwhelming. And then a voice said, why not you? And I said, okay,
Mm,
okay, so why not me? Okay, I hear you. So I said, how can I get this out to more people? And then that's when I was in the shower one day, and the title of my book came to me, the lipstick series. And so I literally I was like, okay. And at the time, the different color lipsticks were out. And so
mm.
I used the different colors to just kind of like it represented different things. So abandonment, rejection, fear, molestation. So whatever your shade was, I went through the steps of like, okay, how do we reapply this lipstick the right way, right? And it's not the perfect way, but it's like more of the right way, right? And so really looking at how we really need to pick the right shade from the beginning. But even though we pick the right shade from the beginning, we now need to make sure that we exfoliate, right? So
Ooh, exfoliate? What's exfoliate? What I need to
exfoliate.
exfoliate in my life?
So, we just wipe off the old lipstick and put on the new lipstick. You can't do that. It's stages, right? And so
Mm.
the same thing with like really applying the word of God. A lot of times we don't tell new believers or believers at all that, they just think, okay, I just get saved and then, it's perfect, it's perfection. It's like, no, it's stages. And so I think the same thing with the lipstick was a great analogy just to kind of bring it home. And so, like, again, after you remove the lipstick, you may have stains, especially if it's red, if it's blue, right? Whatever your shade was, it's deep. So it can't just be removed with just one prayer. Okay, we're done. It's removed. It's like, no, we need to go in and exfoliate because under that, the old lipstick, you probably had cracked lips. Your lips probably were peeling, so we need to exfoliate to now heal, right? And then now after you heal, like there's other things. So like, foundation is just like how do you you line your lips first before you apply, and that's creating boundaries. Now we need new boundaries now. So
Listen,
so
listen, listen. You know how I get excited when you drop a gem. I gotta just pause and really hone in on there. And I see someone in the comments talking about it's a process.
yes.
And that's another like the backside of success.
Yep.
Like you see that vision, you want the perfect application.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And you have to do the process to get there and
Right.
then be resilient.
Yes. Hmm.
Resilient. How have you worked through like any moments where you've had to be resilient? I mean, the PhD alone, I don't know how y'all do it.
Yes.
And that's coming from a lawyer.
Yes, that is my major. That is one. Yes, a major accomplishment. But I would definitely say I think just with, again, starting as an entrepreneur at 17 and then just going through different processes, like college is a process, getting your master's is a process, being at your job as your career is a process. And so being in an organization could be a process, like navigating that. Being at church, honestly, is a process. And so I think that really being, introduced to different environments, it really helped me grow as an individual. And so I think for me, just kind of knowing to persevere through and knowing who my father is, like knowing who my father is has saved my life, because I would have probably given up. And to be honest, I probably would have been like, I would just thrown in the towel altogether. And so I think for me, that's why my biggest fear for people is for them to throw in the towel in their life. And so for me, it's that serious. Like that's how bad my purpose is that I had to save a life. And so it's not just about, oh, I need to just do this because I need to be an entrepreneur. That's the new, the new term. For me, it's like, no, I need to save a life. This life may be in danger because I didn't fulfill my purpose. And so
Mm,
that's how serious I take it. And I feel like I just want to be that person that I once needed at a time, any point of my life, like I want to step in and be that person. And I also think the way I wrote my book was in steps, and I wanted to be very light because God's like the Bible is a love story. And I think we just the way people just turn this Bible just different ways and don't really understand it. So I really wrote my book really light. And because I want anyone to be able to understand it, from educator to a teenager to I want it to be very like understandable, simple, and also relatable. And
mm.
so I and so the lipstick series, and I also have a workbook with it because I want people to really apply, sit down and apply what you have read to what's going on in your life. So we're not just reading and putting it down, we're really doing the work. And so for me, I'm like, let's do the work because we should not be the same after you read the lipstick series, right? We should say, you know what, I want to start this process, or I'm going to go through this process with the book, right? And so chapter 1, you may be there for a month. Like, let's stay there. Let's not move on so fast. Let's really take in chapter 1 and process that, and then say, you know what, I'm ready to go to chapter 2. Okay, let's go to step 2, right? And really process that. And so that's why the book to me is just really, I want us to really work. Like, I don't want, like, my work is not in vain. It's not for a show. It's not, for any type of gain, but to save a life and to make sure that everyone is living out in their purpose. Like, Latoya Chanel is your personal cheerleader, and you can see that as I talk to you through the book.
Okay. So here is 2 things. Success is great, right? We know that there's a backside that includes feeling alone, being misunderstood, taking ridicule, having to redefine your identity. Mm-hmm. But you told us today that God is the only one that can help you deal with the backside of success. And I think that's so key because so many times we get so choked up by lifing us. That's a term I have. Don't let life life you. Or life is lifing right now. What does that mean? I don't know. It's a mess. But it's because you have a relationship with God that you turned into a purpose, that you turned into a business that's helping people get through their process and their journey to show up as their best selves. It is one thing that I don't know if many people could journey through if they didn't get the right foundation. Mm-hmm. And so what types of things have you had to decommit from as you were on this journey in life?
So I had to decommit from, first of all, society's rules of what success is. That's the first thing. And so even though I know I am getting my PhD, I also know it's for me to have a seat at the table. And so certain things I'm not, as a strategist, you have to do certain things to, to fulfill your purpose. But decommitting to societal norms is the first thing. Like, you have to, social media it has this on a different level right now, because I know we'll do it's like a one-term trend, and then now everyone is saying that. And it's like, we have to make sure that we do not get caught up in what society is trending or what society is saying is right. So the first thing is decommitting to that. Also decommitting to the list that you created, and so
Hold on. You mean my good list ain't no good no more? My good list ain't no good no more. My good list is good. That's my path to success.
No. And you know why that list isn't good? Because honestly, it really holds us back from what God can do. And so if we look at our list, we're like, oh yeah, I did that. And it's like, okay, God's like, that's all you want. Okay. Until you realize you're ready for more. Right. And so like I am more. Right. And so now when you get rid of the list, you're open up to God to really bless you in ways you couldn't even imagine. And so we limit our own self with these lists, and we also hold ourselves back because we stress out so bad if we don't get something. We're like, oh my gosh. And now if you deal with rejection in the past, you're now literally every day beating yourself up. Like, every day you're stressed out because of this rejection thing, because you didn't get it, not realizing this job you had, the job you went out for that you wanted to get, but you got rejected from, God was protecting you because that organization is about to go through something, I don't know, right? Or active shooter is about to come. Like, who knows? But it's like, that you didn't get the job because it wasn't for you. He had so much more for you. And when you have that mindset to be like, okay, if I didn't get this, cool. It's for a reason. Everything is purposeful with me, because that's how much my Father loves me. And so he knew me in the womb. So my life is already written out. So he already knew I wasn't getting that job. So why am I upset about it? I'm like, okay, it's a reason. I don't know. Maybe I may find out. I may not. But at the end of the day, I'm confident to know that God said no. Right? Because man can't tell me no. And so it's a reason. It's always a reason. And I think we have to really, when we start decommitting to what we have on our list, we realize we open up ourselves to so much more. And God is like, like, I don't know if you guys saw the meme on social media where it's like the big teddy bear, but then the little girl was holding on to the small teddy bear and she didn't want to give it up. And he's like, look, I have this big teddy bear, but I'm waiting for you to let go of your list, right? Or what you think. So I think that we really need to decommit to that, and societal norms is the start, and what
Yeah,
you had in
no.
mind. They always say, let go, decommit to what you had in mind.
No, this is so good. And I know that this is helping some folks. And if you haven't already, like, share, tag the broadcast, even when it's over, tag people in here because this story needs to be shared, right? And one thing I just put in the chat was like, we got to be okay with God saying no if we're on the path to success. And the backside is dealing with the rejection
Yes.
of an expectation we set out. Because
Right.
the list is our point of view.
Yes.
So we have our point of view. So we got our list of expectations. I had this thing recently. I was like, all right, God, come here. Here's the play. I want you to do this, this, this. And by this time, in order for me to do what you want me to do for you, okay? Now, I'm a run the play. I'm a throw the ball to you in the end zone. You gonna catch it, God, and I'm gonna give you the glory. What you mean? I'm gonna give you the glory, God. You about to get it? What you mean? And he was just like, no, go sit down and let me. Because another part of success is reprocessing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll get to one version of you and say like, oh, I am, but there's more.
Mm-hmm.
So I am an attorney, I am an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
but tomorrow may present more for me.
Absolutely.
I might be a motivational speaker,
Mm-hmm.
speaking at the White House. Who knows? But first I got to decommit from my list and decommit from the societal norms.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's so powerful. And I just thank you for that. And it gives me peace when I think about, I was driving off the ramp of the I-10 here in Los Angeles, and I knew in my spirit that I was going to have to quit my job soon. And I had to be willing to walk away when I felt it was the right time to walk away, and deal with like the backlash.
Mm-hmm.
And deal with well, what you gonna do? How you gonna pay your rent? Be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I am in a moment. I'm in a God time, right? An ordained time because we're living in His history.
Right.
And those moments like that can feel like the backside.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we do if the backside is really the front side?
Right.
What do we do with that, Latoya?
So I think really just, again, you have to embrace everything. And I think someone put in the comments, that you have to just understand that a no, you know what I mean, is not bad. It's a good thing. Like, we really need to just embrace our experiences. And I think someone put in the comments, like, it's an experience. And so we will also be more happier, like, because, or just at peace. Let me not say happy, but at peace, right? And so if we just understand that the front, the back, the side of our life is our journey, and it all makes sense for our purpose. And so if you notice, a lot of people who may have certain experiences as they were younger, they're now, like you just said, a motivational speaker. They may be an attorney for that particular population. It's like all of our stories are used for good. And so embracing them, we have to heal from them first, right? And so like step 6 talks about, okay, now that you went through this process, okay, now it's time for you to use your purpose. And all that you have went through, it's like, let's rock this out now. Let's now fulfill everything that we can fulfill. And it helps you just have a solid mind, be able to also navigate. And so also, like, when you work as a 9 to 5, because we run and just become entrepreneurs, but we have to utilize our experiences, the stuff we learned within the organization that we work for, of how they do best practices and bring that into your entrepreneurship life. And a lot of people just miss that. We skip it. And so I just want to also, I don't know, this just came on my heart about when you're an entrepreneur and you want to hire people to like help you do like something, say a book cover, say a website, interview them. That's what you had to do to get your job. So why are we allowing people in our space who may not fit or align with our purpose? And so,
Mm.
it's not one person who does a book cover, but you want the person for you. And so why don't we ask for references? Why don't we ask for like do more research? Like this is our business. This is our baby. So this is what God entrusted us with. So why don't we take as much care as an organization would? And so like all those things you learn in an organization is like utilize that in your business too. So that wasn't wasted. Like you working at 9 to 5 was not wasted because the practices that they have is there for a reason. And so customer service. As an entrepreneur, a lot of people skip that step. I'm like, well, what happened? What happened? And so we really want to make sure that we are understanding that, yes, the backside of success is really us, right? Let's us get out of our own head, us like understanding what success is and really being able to now deal with what's in front of us. Because what's in front of us is all these different things that we have to deal with, like the bigger things, like, okay, how do I start a business? What do I need an attorney for? What do I need an accountant for? Like, how do I do this right? And so, but a lot of times we don't get the back part done. Like we don't do the backside,
The
the back
back
end,
end.
right? So we just want to go straight forward and like we're just out here and it's like, no. And you can tell that, I mean, a lot of people are talented, right? But it's like, are we walking in our purpose? Are we doing stuff, godly? Like, are we doing stuff right? And so I think really understanding that really will help.
Yeah, I see in the comments, no from God is protection for promotion for purpose.
Yes. Okay. I love that.
Right? That's a good one. We got
Yes.
in God time, we got God speed. And I know we're coming to a close now, and this is such good conversation around the backside of success. But at the end of it, what is like the one thing you will want us to take away as we journey to more and finding or redefining what success means for us?
So I think the one thing I want everyone to take away is really to step back, like tonight or maybe in the morning, like whatever is your best time, and just step back and think about where you are right now. Is it something that you need to kind of decommit to? Is there anything, do you have a list? Like check that list. Is that list limiting you? I think, when someone in the comments has some great 3 points. And I think that's really what I think the takeaway for me tonight would be, is really understanding what societal norms have you subscribed to. Also, what lists on your own, what expectations have you subscribed to? And also really understanding what your shade is. For me, that's my plug, right? So is it something that you need to work through? Is it fear? Is it rejection? Is it abandonment? Is it molestation? Is it something that you need to work through? And the lipstick series is on Amazon, it's on my website. And so you can get it, and also has a workbook, and just work through that. And also, I think that is something that the main takeaway for me is really you. Like, let's work on you, because that you are the backside of your success and your purpose. And so those are my 3, I think, takeaways, and just really understanding that, you rock, you're fearfully, wonderfully made, and that what your purpose is already in you. God is waiting for you to just get it out so you can see it and you can just walk in it. And so I think that would be my biggest takeaway tonight.
Listen, if this was good and you got some gems from this, please type that in the chat. Gems, type gems in the chat. And if you're watching this later, I don't care. I want you to put gems in the chat. We really have to, have the right community, subscribe to the right things as we journey to more. And like Latoya said, there is so much in each of us. And we have to sit down and take the time to go after the more, to overcome the fear, be resilient, learn what to decommit from, and live in the moments where there is backlash. Right? I want y'all to say it with me in your household, in your car, wherever you are. I am and more. Right? That is an affirmation to remind us of who we are right now and the potential of who we can be if we do the work, if we go through the process. Now, I am a living witness of the backside of success. One of the backsides is getting out of your comfort zone. And so, me starting this web series is really getting out of my comfort zone. But I have dynamic speakers that I am going to invite to this platform every other week. And I want you to come back and make sure you bring a friend, because these are things that they need to hear if we're going to journey for more. All right. So I am Jamila Moore, your life and business strategist, the founder and CEO of I Am and More. And I just want you to be empowered to go after it. You are your greatest resource. There is nothing that you cannot do. In fact, the word impossible says, I am possible.
Mm.
So, with that, you have a great night, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.
Good night.